This is my video tutorial about cables, and as you can see, I have here on my table a bunch of cables that I have done. This is a sweater. The pattern is available on Ravelry, and there are several different types of cables here. I'm going to show you two basic kinds of cables. The first one we're gonna do is a basic crossover cable, and I've started here with some a row of double crochet, and then for this particular crossover I'm going to do it with 6 stitches. So I've already done, you want to start with back post double crochets. I've done the first 3 here, so here are the next 3 back post double crochets. And always stop and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back post double crochets. Then we finish the row, or you know, whatever else the row requires. And then we come back to it. 1, 2, 3, and here. Okay. Now, here we are. Here are the 6 back post double crochets that I did in the previous row. You notice I have a stitch marker here. It's useful. I always find it useful to show the right side of whatever I'm doing with a stitch marker. So this is how we start this crossover. I'm doing it with a treble crochet. So to do a treble, you yarn over twice. I'm gonna skip these first 3. Gonna do my treble in the next one. Do another treble in the next one. And then another treble in the last one. Then what I do is I go back to where I was before. I do a treble in the first one that I skipped. Then I do a treble in the second one that I skipped. And then I do a treble in the third one that I skipped. So we have worked all 6 of these stitches, except not in the order that you might expect. And then we finish out the row with whatever stitch you're doing. Right now I'm doing doubles just to keep it simple. And then when we go back and we do the back side, So this is what the back looks like. It looks like a knotted, tangled mess, but it's not. So we do another back post double in every stitch in the order that we encounter them. And once again, we stop and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back post doubles, and then we finish out the row. And that's all you need. That is how it works. So this is what it looks like on the front. You can almost see the beginning there, but we'll do another few rows of this and you'll see how it looks. Okay, we've come to the beginning of our 6 crossover stitches. So once again, treble, skip 3, and then we do our 3 trebles. And then we do our 3 trebles in the 3 that we skipped. This is where sometimes it gets a little tricky because you might have to go hunting. Okay, that was the first one that we skipped. That was the second one that we skipped. And there's the third one that we skipped. And then we finish out the row, you know, whatever is happening in the row. You know, who knows what else the pattern is going to call for. So, and so this is what it looks like now. And then I'm going to do another row on the back side.
And recall, on the back side, we just do our back post doubles in all of these stitches in the order that we encounter them. And once again, we stop and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back post double crochets. Always stop and count. Anytime I make an error of this, doing this kind of thing, it's on the back side when I don't count. There's so many jokes to be made about that, but I'll just keep going. Finish out the row. Start the next row. And this is what it looks like now. So you can see the beginning of our cable there. So we've got this going over, we've got this crossing over. So I'm just going to do a few more rows without saying anything. Yeah, me not saying anything. I will probably wind up, I'll speed this up when I edit this for presentation. Three, four, five, six. Okay, that's the back, and that's the front. I'll do one more row. Okay, so we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, we need another. See, it's easy to miscount. What have I done? It's easy to miscount this. So, I went back to where I was. There we go. 4, 5, 6. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3. I've done something wrong here. I don't know what it was. Let's figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is why you count, so that you can find your mistakes usually as soon as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we finish out the row. Okay. Whatever happens at the end. And here we are. Now.
You can see I'm starting to curl here. That is a danger anytime you do any kind of a post stitch, whether cables are involved or not. It's very easy when you're doing post stitches to not pull through enough yarn, especially if you, especially if your tension is usually a little tight. But I always try to pull through more than enough yarn, or what I think is more than enough yarn, so that the stitch is going to be tall enough to avoid this curl, but I'm still getting curling. Okay, I'm just going to show you one more thing. So we start our row in the normal way. We start this cable in the way that I was just showing you, where we skip the 3, we do our 3 trebles, remembering to make them trebles every time. You know, sometimes I've messed up that way. Okay, what we have been doing to this point, some people would call a 3-3 back front cross, because we do our 3 trebles and then we cross over and do the 3 that we skipped, so that we have a back front. It's possible to do it the other way. So once you've done your first 3 trebles, you could go, instead of going in front of the ones that you've just done, you could go behind them and do your trebles that way. It's a little trickier, but when we start doing the braids, it's something that will be useful for us. So we went behind these 3 instead of in front of them to catch those 3 skipped stitches and do our front post treble there. And then I'll just finish out the row. And so you can see, if we were to do that, it would go in the opposite direction. And actually, that is what I have done with this sweater. These cables are right here, they go in one direction. These other cables go in the other direction. So these, I believe, yeah, these are back front. These are front back. And then this is the braid.